Hi everyone, I'm starting soon.
An IQ of 85 to 115 is
Hello everyone, good morning, good evening. The sun just set down. I hope you are all okay and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to make folders, several ones in different colors. I have a very tight schedule that I need to make 10 of these. We'll see how much we'll make in this live session. But I started 13 hours ago, 5 a.m. in my time. And I thought this is a wonderful opportunity to make a live stream and just I'll work and you will join me and you can ask questions in the chat and we will have some fun together. So actually this folder is 25, let me move to this camera. The folder is 25 on 35 centimeter and we have a gap of 1 centimeter and it is going to hold 2 prints inside with corners. I cut the material to size. I'll show you. So this is cut to the size. Of course, the grain direction is parallel to the spine. So this is the grain direction. And I'm going to use a bookbinding board. This is a gray board and this is 2.3 millimeter thick. And I already cut some cloth into size, different colors. So we'll have fun with it. I'm going to start with the light blue, I think. I'll put it here. As you can see, it came out of the roll, so it is a bit jumpy, but I'll show you how to manage with that, of course, with my weights. So from time to time, I'll check the chat. It's very nice to catch you also. Hello, Canada and Ireland. Hello, Sylvia. So glad you're here. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to start with opening, and let's wake up the brushes. So this is a jar of water. I'll show you from the upper side. This is a jar of water, and this is the glue. I just filled it up before starting. This is my old 20-year-old glue brush. So I'm taking off the water and I'm dipping it inside the glue. So let's start in the beginning. I'll put this here. And I'll put this aside here. So I'm going to start by locating, it's nice in the frame here, my 2 centimeter weight. So I'm going to put one here and one on top. And that would give me a straight line. And I cut the cloth into size, so after I'll put a gap of 1 centimeter, it would be more or less 2 centimeter all around. So I'll start by gluing the board. Again, the grain direction is parallel to the spine. Guten Abend, North Germany. I'll try to glue and read the chat. Let's see how it works. About the I don't have the prints yet. I'm going to make the folders before I have the prints, but I gave the printing shop the measurements of 33 on 23 centimeters for the prints that would go in this board, which is 35 on 25. So I'm allowing 2 centimeters less for the prints because they are going to be connected with little triangles in the corners. I'm not sure that we will do the corners today because I want to work on connecting and making the folders without lining the inside. We will see how it goes with the time that we have. I see I have a bit here I need to add. And as you can see, if there's like dry glue, I take it off. Because I glue the thicker material first, I have the time for that. And I'm going to locate it between the weights. See, my hands are clean. Flip over and connect. I'll take my bone folder and just go all around. Flip it back. And now I need this straight line. I'll bring the long one. Yeah, I'll bring the long weight here. And now I have a gap of 1 centimeter. It's quite old, but it's still 1 centimeter. So I'm going to put it here. Usually I put a weight. Sometimes if it going to fall down or something, this would hold it. But it's not necessary because this is quite wide. Usually the gaps are smaller, but this is just habit of mine. So I'm going to glue the other side. You'll hear me saying it a lot today, that I'm gluing from the inside out. Okay, from the inside of the board outside and not vice versa. I work with a brush all day. That is why I have some dry glue that I need to take off, but I think soon enough it would stop. Again, when I'm gluing the thicker material first, I have the time to see I have an even amount all around. I see I have a hair here from the brush. Take it out. And I'm going to bring it to the spacer, the 1 centimeter spacer, and to my weight. I'll see it straight. Take everything aside. See my hands are clean. Flip over and work with the bone folder. Let me do another one. I'll give it a rest here for a second. And we'll take let's take the orange one. I'll bring my boards. One and two. And again, if you're just joining me, I'm making colorful folders in various colors, 5 different colors. And I'm locating the board right now. It's going to be 2 centimeters all around. I'll check the chat, what's going on here. Okay, maybe I'll answer the question about the flat notebook later on. I'll just keep on working a bit and then I'll talk about that. I can show you some examples to the French link stitch and about the book laying flat. I usually work with a glue brush, but you can also use a roller if you prefer. I don't like the roller because when you need to clean it every day, it takes a lot of the glue each time that you clean it up, and then you use it again, the tray and the roller itself. That is why I use my brush. flip it over. Let me bring the smaller weight this time, and my gap. See, everything is straight. And do the other side. I'm trying to read and glue. Hope I won't do any mistake here. Welcome to everyone joining me. We are making folders today. Have a deadline. It's night time for me. I've been here for hours. It was quite a stressful day after all the holidays and everything. Everyone wants something ready. But I'm managing with everything. It's nice that you have more work than you have the time to do. And I'm just giving extra hours. Let me go to the wide angle here. You can see the whole table. The material I'm using is bookbinding cloth. It has paper backing to it. So if I'll show you from here, it has a bit of paper glued to the material. And then when you put glue on it, it's not zipping through to the other side. Hopefully, if you are putting a lot of glue or if you press very hard, that can happen. But if it's like a soft working on it, it works fine. Now, let me show you how I cut the corners. I'll do it like this. If you didn't see, I have a video about how to make this jig for cutting the corners, but I'll show you how you measure, and if you want to make one of these, you can just see the video about how to make a jigs. So when you want to cut the corner, the right way is 1.5 times the thickness of the board. So what I do is I measure from corner to corner. I need here around 4 millimeters. So that's more or less here. Then I take my triangular ruler, bring it to my mark with a pencil, and then cut. Where's my knife? I need a knife for that. Here it is. And then you cut in a 45-degree angle. So each time, if you are putting, show here, if you are putting the ruler, the base is straight. When you go out towards the edge, that gives you 45-degree angle. Usually when I cut, I bring it, I know where it is because I'm doing it so long, hours and hours of cutting. So I'm doing it like this. But if you have a jig, you can just put the jig on the board and cut. Very simple. And you can make multiple jigs for different thicknesses of board. You can just color grade it with a piece of cloth, and then you'll know, just write on it. Let me bring the other one that is waiting here. And I'll cut this also. So 1 and 2. Three and 4. Now I'm going to show you how to fold inside. I'll change brushes. I made the frame today so I can glue it on the edge and just open it like, fold it like this. So let me do one side. So I'm working on the edge of the table and just gluing the turn-ins. I see that this is a bit shorter, but everything is going to be concealed with paper lining on the inside. I'm taking my thumb and just working. I don't want air bubbles or air between the board and the cloth. So I'm just, first of all, making sure it is glued to the edge and then turning inside. My bone folder is 1 centimeter, so it fits perfectly inside. And now I'm going to work the corners here. One here and one here. I'll flip it over. Glue the long side. You see, I'm jumping ahead of the spine. I'm doing the other side, and then I'm doing the spine because I want the cloth to go inside. It has more flexibility. Work the corners here and here. And let's do the short sides. I'll bring some waste paper here so you see how you should do it, not in the air, but with waste paper underneath. Up until the end. You see, I'm not putting a lot of glue, just an even amount to spread it. And because if you put a lot of glue, when you do this, the glue is going to point out, like you see here, but just a bit. And the other side. So this is more or less ready for the first stage. Looks great. Put it over here. Let's do this one with a wide shot. Hi everyone. Again, I'm going to do the edge here. I see people are writing in the chat. When I finish this, I will take a look what's going on here. And this is a good opportunity to thank my son, Moran, who is our moderator. I call him Momo, the moderator. So he's on the chat. Thank you for joining me and supporting everything here. The whole family is supporting and giving me ideas. And for instance, Shaked, my son, told me maybe this small window that you see me, I can do it a bit smaller so it won't interfere with the work, and you can see me while you can see my table. And about the sound and the color grading and everything. So it's such a great thing that I have a supportive family that helps me in my journey on YouTube and in general. When I get to the spine, I like to just glue a bit where I know it's going to go inside. Just give it a little bit more attention so it would glue properly. Because this is a folder and it is going to be with paper lining inside and then on it a print, that is why even if it's not, I can see that this is a bit more than here. So this is maybe 2.2 and this is 2 centimeter. Never mind, because I know it's going to be covered twice. But when I'm making books, I'm making sure that everything, I cut it more and then trim it so it would be exact, because underneath the end paper, you can see if things are aligned or not. So that's an important tip, to just cut a bit more and then trim it. You can take a 2 centimeter ruler and just trim it all around. Like I'll show you, like here, you see it's a bit more than 2. And then you take your knife, trim it, and then you fold it inside, and then everything is the same. But here it's going to be covered twice, so there's no need. This jig is such a great thing, exactly where I need it to be. It's covering the corners nicely. I'll finish this one and see what's going on in the chat. Looks great. Put this aside. And let's see what's going on here for a second. Wow, people from all over the world. This is amazing. Philippines. Arad is my nephew. And hello, Arad. Welcome. Such great comments. Thank you all. I want to follow back to the question about, where is it? About the French link stitch. Let me bring a book for a second. Okay, I'll bring a book. I'll open this one here. Ich träume so leise von dir. Non-adhesive bindings. About your question, let's see if we have focus here. Okay. This is the French link stitch. I also made a small version with tapes just a couple of weeks ago. You can see the video. When you do a French link stitch, you can open the book completely flat on the table and you can flip the pages. What can happen is a bit of movement from right to left, as you can see here, but if you put tapes on the spine, then it would prevent the book from moving. Okay, I'll do the focus again to the lower side. Okay, it looks okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's about the French link stitch. You can also make a Coptic binding, and that also is more sturdy and it holds a bit better, as you can see here. Or you can see this one also. You have the spine and it holds a bit better than the French link stitch if there's no tapes on the spine. Another option, this by the way, this is from a class I made about the Coptic binding. I'll close this for a second. Another option for something that would lay completely flat is the long stitch binding. Okay, there are a couple of variations of it. This one has another holding between the two long stitch, like a link stitch here. And this book also lays flat, completely flat. And what I like about this book also is you can open it 360 degrees and work on it, because the spine is flexible and you sew directly to the spine. You can open it completely. So that's, if you're looking for something sturdy that won't move, then I suggest or to do the French link stitch but with tapes on the spine, or you can go with a Coptic binding or with a long stitch. It depends on what you want to achieve, the design, and so on. I'll move this here. I'm putting it on my orange slipcases. I'll see if you have any more questions about that. We are talking about glue. This glue I'm using is PVA, but it is called 55. It won't help you. It is a local supplier. But Jade 403 is a great solution and a great PVA to work with because it has a natural pH, and it also, when it dries, it is completely transparent. They're also in England, in Hewitt's, a very nice glue. I don't remember the name of it, but you can buy also from Hewitt. And I made a video about the fear of glue, and people recommended different brands from different locations around the world because we are a large community from truly all over the world. That is why there are people that are recommending what they are using in their part of the world. So you can check in the comments over there. And I'm trying to buy some different brands, bring it here, and then try to do some kind of review or see how each of the glue works. But the recommendation from Talas for the Jade 403, this is a great solution. What else is going on here? What kind of tapes? There are different kind of tapes that you can use. It's such fun that I'm in my studio. I need to remember where to take it back. This is a tape. This is linen, I think. I'll tell you what's the width here. It's around 1.9 centimeter. So in inches, have a ruler with inches. It's 3/4 of an inch. So that's one tape. And this is, I think this is cotton, but the same measurement. There is also this small tape here. Didn't see where I took it from. So this also small tape here. This is around 9 millimeters. You can use that also. And another tip, and I show that in my pocket journal notebook, a video I made, I think 2 weeks ago. It is about, I took just canvas that you paint on it. I have leftovers because some of the plotter printing I get to make covers for. I have just leftovers of it. Maybe I have here. No, it's not that. You know what? I'll bring it just 1 second. You'll hear the door squeaking. I'm back. So, as you can see, this is just leftover canvas from a job I made for, I think it was for boxes. And you can just decide if you want a 2 centimeter, you just cut it like this. First of all, trim it like this. I'm showing you so you'll know how I work. I just line it up on my table. Now that I know it's straight, I can cut 2 centimeter or whatever you want. And then you can just fold it a bit and insert it at the edge of the table instead of a sewing frame like this. Okay, this is my sewing frame with tapes on it, but you can improvise with just on the edge of the table. I'll put this back. It was over here, I think. Yeah. So I really love these live streams because each one is different. It's like when people come and visit me for workshops or for tours in my studio, and then the questions are making each live stream or each visit to my studio different. So I love it, really. What else do we have here? The Canary Islands. Wow. Thank you. Can like here? Yeah, it works. Yeah. Okay. Back to working. I'll dip the brushes inside the water again because I think that would be better. And let's go for the dark green. We'll put it here. See what's going on in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. Truly great, amazing. Okay, I'm back to making folders. If somebody just joined us, I'll go for here. If somebody just joined us, we are making folders in various colors. Okay, the board is 35 on 25 centimeters. The grain direction is parallel to the spine always. Okay, and I'm going to glue it. I'm starting with, the focus is okay because I showed you some books. Yeah, it looks okay. I'm going to put one here and one here, the weights. These are brass weights. As you can see in my videos, I use them all the time. Now they act as stoppers to bring the board into place. I'll take the glue brush from the water and dip it inside the PVA. Hello, Macedonia. A beautiful place. While I'm gluing, I would like you to tell me if the time now, Sunday evening for me, Sunday morning for South America, Canada, if this is a good time frame for you, because I'm trying to figure out when would be the best time for live streaming. So I would love to hear if this is a good time for you. I see that there's no issues on the board. It looks okay. I'll put it between the weights. Move the weights aside. Clean my hands. I have a towel here underneath the table. You should always have a towel or a sock or something, piece of cloth to clean your hands between working with the glue and working with your object. I'll flip it over I'll bring a weight to give me a straight line, and I'm going to take a gap of 1 centimeter. And I'll go to the other one. Good time in South Africa and in the US. That's great. I started very early today, so around 14 hours ago, but, and that's important, I took a Schlafstunde. Schlafstunde is a nap in lunchtime, so I'll glue properly and we won't have issues with me falling asleep here or something. But it's a nice time for me also, and I get to work more hours and I have more progress with all my deadlines. So it's a win-win. And I know that in Australia now, also in Japan, Asia, people are sleeping, but they can see afterwards. And maybe I need to mix it up and each time do it in a different time zone. "9:30 in India." Oh, that's good. Siesta is good. Siesta is always good. What do you say? I'll do another one. No, let me cut the corners here. Again, I'm using my jig, but I want to show you again if somebody just joined us. When you want to cut the corner, you know what? Let me do something else. I'm going, just a second. I'm connecting another camera. So you can see a close-up shot of what I'm doing. Okay, let's see how it goes. Wait a minute. Why is it closed? Okay, now it would work. Yes. So I'll put it confusing. When you want to make a corner, what you do is you put your ruler that it go from corner to corner, and the formula is 2.5 times the thickness of board because the thickness of board changes. So I'm going to mark around 4 millimeters here. Then I take my triangular ruler, put it, I'll show you in the big screen, put it when the base is straight and you take it outside, then you have a 45-degree angle. And then you just take your ruler and cut. Again, take your ruler and cut, like so. But with the jig, you can just put it on the edge and cut on the edge here. Sorry for the ambulance if you hear it. And cut. And if you want to know how to make this jig, I have a video about how to make it. You can buy these from plastic, but I think this is so simple to make and you can make it by yourself. Okay, I'll move to my small brush. Let's see that it's not dry. It's okay. I'll work on the edge of the table. I'll take this off so you can see the whole frame. And I'm going to glue up until the end, just an even amount. Thank you, Sylvia. I like these colors, and actually they gave me the choice to just choose any color I want. I need to make 10 folders, so I chose 5 different colors, and I need to make 2 of each. Again, at the edge of the table, I'm bringing it to the board on the edge, okay, not just to flip it like this. First of all, glue the edge, and then otherwise you can have some air between the cloth and your bookbinding board, and that would give you an uneven edge. I'm going inside the gap, the 1 centimeter gap, and then working the corners. How is the green with the green? It looks black on my screen. It's true. Homemade tools are the best. And when you make your own tools, you appreciate them. But I must say, when I made this gap of 1 centimeter, or many of the other things, I didn't know I'm going to use it for 25, 30 years. I just made it from scraps. Maybe some of the things I would do differently now that I know that I'm using them all the time and that they are live on camera. But maybe for each thing I think needs a new version, I can make a video about it, and that would give me a nice reason to make new spacers and corner jigs and many other things. But I'm not changing my glue brush. This is something truly special. It is as old as my daughter. Working the corners again. And now the short side. Okay, good question. I think I need glasses to see the names in the chat, but about alternatives for weights. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'll finish this green folder and then I'll talk to you about the weights. And about how to improvise if you don't have any. And while I'm working, I'm trying to figure out if to do the fifth one, another color, the brown one, and then show you the lining on the inside. I'll put this aside and I'll think about it. Okay, let's talk about alternatives. So first of all, as you can see, I have my weights. This is 2.5 centimeters and this is 2 centimeters. I have just small ones, 3 centimeter. I used it on the other table. Yeah, this is 3 centimeters. I'll show you like this so you can see. This is from letterpress leftovers. The brass weights are, it has a lot of advantages, but it is quite expensive, just the metal itself. And I'm trying to figure out about a supplier maybe to make a stock of already cut into size. But I think the shipping would be a bit of an issue, or, you know, you ship weights. But I'm trying to figure out if to just make some so you can order them. But in the meantime, you can just look with the local metal supplier and see if he has brass weights. It comes in the long bars of, I think, 6 meters, and you just ask and they cut them into size. About the size, this is 20 centimeter, this is 25. That's what I use the most. But what I bought here, this is a piece of marble. And it is also a bit heavy, not heavy like the brass, but it is heavy. And it has 90 degrees. And the importance of the 90 degrees is when you bring paper, it is going to show like this. When you bring paper, let's bring a thin paper, it stops on the weight and it doesn't go underneath, okay? So you can improvise with brass, and you can also try and use wood blocks. I don't have a wood block here, but this is just for me for sanding. But think of a wood block that has 90-degree angle, and it can work also. So that's how I would improvise. There's also, it is called, I think, 1-2-3 block. 1-2-3 block, I think it is in the US. It's 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches. And it is used for, I think, for people that work with metal. And that's also a nice solution. I know some of my students on Skillshare are using it, and that's, I think, pretty great for them. I'm going to bring the last one. Let's do the last one, and then I'll go for the inner spine. So any other questions here? I'm trying to figure out. We see the chat. Oh, here, mechanics 1-2-3 blocks. That's the name. And they are fairly cheap. That's what I understood, right? Hello, Chicago. Nice. If I missed something from the chat from early on, I'm sorry about that. I see a lot of Agassi here supporting me. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm going to put one weight here and one weight here. Take my glue brush, I'll dip it inside the water again to make sure it would work nicely and smoothly. See that? That's it. Gluing from the inside out, repeating myself. You know why I'm doing it from the inside out? I'll show you. If you do it vice versa like this, you'll have glue on the edge. It can drip on your work or on your fingers, and then you'll have some, how would I say it, some character to your binding or your folder. But I like to add the design as I intended to and not just improvise after I have some glue on places I didn't want them to be. So when you glue from the inside out, you make sure that the surface is with glue but not the edges, and you have a much cleaner work. Now I'm going to clean my hands with the towel and bring it here. You see exactly what I talked about. My demonstration could result in a stain on the other side. Okay, because if it was still here, I'll clean my hands again. I feel that they are not dry enough. If we had it still here, when I'll flip it over, it would be on the table. And when I'll flip it back, it would be on the cover. That's why I tell my students all the time, from the inside out. I need to make a t-shirt of from the inside out. This is a good advice. It is written in glue. Okay, I'm bringing the board to the weights. This gives me a straight line, and to the spacer, this is 1 centimeter spacer. If you didn't hear that before, or if you're just joining us, and I'm flipping over. What I'm using is a Teflon bone folder. There are many kinds of bone folders. I'll show you. This is more for folding papers. You have a pointy one like this, and it is called bone folder because it used to be a bone, but there are plastic ones, and the Teflon one, what's nice about that, if you can see here, let me show you with a close-up. If you can see here, you have a little bit of dried glue on it. Okay, with Teflon you don't have this problem. So usually when I work with big surface, I use the Teflon one, and when I have detailed work and so on, I use just a regular bone folder. camera and open this one. Yeah. Use my jig to cut. Change brushes. I'll close this so I won't interfere with the frame. If you have more questions, you can ask in the chat and I'll try to answer. I'm adding some glue here. Again, thumb. And slowly lifting, making sure it is connected inside. And working the corner. I'm glad you like the jig. I have a video about how to make it so you can make your own. It's so simple. And it is used just from scrap that you have, I'm sure, laying around. And you can make different sizes for different thicknesses of boards. And then you can just write on it or just put some color so you can know by color which one is which. You see again, I'm jumping and not working the spine. I'm gluing the two of those, and then because I want a bit of flexibility of the cloth for the inside, this is bookbinding cloth. This specific one is by Van Eyck textile from the Netherlands. It has a nice texture to it. And it comes in various colors. I'm reading the chat. Kate. No, Katya. I need my glasses to see the name. Sorry if I misspelled your name, but look how we think alike. I just talked about the cloth and you asked about the cloth without me watching the chat. So, Van Eyck textile from Holland. I buy it in big rolls. I don't know if they sell it for individuals. I need to check that. I need to work on a video about tools and materials, and I need to do that. It's long time coming. Just all my tools, what I use, the material I use, so you can find it. Maybe some you won't find in your part of the world, but at least you'll know what I'm using. So that's something I need to do. Okay. I'm going to take a sip of water for a second, and then we're going to move on to lining the inside. I want to show you a very nice trick. So just 1 second. While drinking, earlier in this live, we talked about the video about the French link stitch with the tapes. So just beside my water, I have one without the covers, but one French link stitch for my pocket journal without the covers, but what we talked about with the tapes and everything. So just I saw it here. I'll see what's going on in the chat. Okay, let's talk about the rulers. So this is my take about rulers. What happened is, let's say up until I think 20 years ago, they used to make rulers that are thick and strong. And then they started making rulers like paper. Truly, like it's like the thickness of paper. So all my rulers are old rulers from years ago. So I don't know how to recommend rulers, but when you are choosing your ruler, choose a thick one that holds and won't bend so much. I have another one here. I have so many rulers, but just what I suggest is ask in your family if somebody has an old ruler that you can use, and because they don't make these anymore, I don't know where you can find them. Maybe if somebody do know where is a good manufacturer of rulers, tell me, or maybe we need to glue two of them together. But that's about my rulers. They are old rulers that, you know, each bookbinder that closes his studio, I try to look for these special tools and things that are not, you can't find them anymore. Trying to figure out what to show you more about these. No, everything is so thin here. So that's my take about rulers. The thicker the ruler, the better it would work and you can manage with it. Okay, I didn't try for sewing. I will check it out. The problem, let's talk about that. The problem with a plastic or wooden ruler is when you work with a knife, you can cut a chip off the ruler and that won't be precise afterwards. So that's the problem with plastic rulers. You can see a bit of the edge here, but what I'll show you, I'll move to this camera. This is a ruler, the triangular ruler, and if you can see inside here, there's a piece of metal inside, and when you work with the ruler, with the knife, it won't chip off the plastic of the ruler. When I bought it, I didn't understand why it costs so much, but when I received this one is with plastic, you can see it, and this side has metal inside. So that's very, very useful, and it's holding for years. I'll try to link this kind of a ruler afterwards in the chat or in the comments. Another question we have here. Okay, you're answering one another. I'll keep on working and tell me if you need my help. Okay, what I'll do, let me try, I'll start with the blue one. Okay. I'm taking the blue cloth, lining it up on my table. Let's see that it's straight. Yeah, it's more or less straight. It looks okay. I'm going to cut 5 centimeters. Great. Now a trick for you. You see it's curling. What I'm going to do is take it to the edge of the table and just give it a pull and ta-da! Now I'm going to cut it. This is 25, so I'm going to put it on the table. I want to see that it is straight, so maybe I'll trim it again. Okay, that's what's nice about the cutting mat. I have 10, 25, and I want it 20. Let's do it 23 or 22. 23 is going to be the prints themselves. Let me do it 24. I'll have half a centimeter on each side. Now, what I'm going to do is locate evenly on both sides. And now I'm going to take this. This is a needle just connected to a piece of plastic. This is from a medical supply. A good friend, Yoram, gave it to me years ago. I have a box full of them. And what I'm going to do, when I see it is lining up nicely top and bottom, I'm going to put one here and one here. And now I'm going to glue it and bring it exactly into place. Okay, so that's a nice trick I developed for working, because then you don't need to mark, and you don't need to mark with a pencil, let's say. And now I'm going to take a piece of waste paper. And first of all, I'm going to glue the inner spine. I'll move this. And I know I cut 5, so this is 1. I need around 2 centimeters on each side. But see that I'm just gluing the board. I'm not touching the cloth. I said not touching and I touched it, but you won't see it. It's okay. Now I'll take my waste paper and I'm going to glue only the edge. I know this is a small piece and I could do just glue the whole piece and then connect it, but this is something I'm doing because sometimes I'm making very large boxes, and this is just a habit, and I know I have enough glue here and I have on top and bottom. I'm bringing it to my marks here. See it straight. Thank you. and then I'm going inside. I always thank my needles because they are helping me. This is very satisfying to do. The inside like this. I love this part. And this is ready. Let me bring the brownish one. Not brownish, the brown one. Again, cutting a piece. Trimming. Ten, 24. Again, I'm locating it. One here and one here. Afterwards, there are going to be corners, just triangular corners connected on both sides. So this would also cover the cloth. I'm looking at the chat before gluing. Bye Sylvia, thank you for joining us. The spelling Van Eyck is H-E-E-K. Okay, moving on. I'll glue the inside. And glue the edges. Yeah, I love this needle trick. And this is all, I think, bookbinding and box making, it is all about improvising and finding your own way. And that is why you can learn so much from watching other craftsmen and artists working. And that is why I'm doing my live, so you can see, learn, and I hope I'm also inspiring you to create your own, because that's how we are going to keep this beautiful art alive, by keep creating books by hand and boxes. That's why I'm here for. Let's go for the orange one. I'm really pleased with the progress of making the folders. Thank you for being here with me. I'll trim the edge. I want a straight and nice edge because this is going to be just glued and revealed, this part. The corners are less going to be revealed, but again, counting 24. I see not Ike E-Y-K, but H-E-E-K. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it right. I think it's Van Eyck, but it is written Van Heek. So again, I'm going to glue the inside of the spine because I want it on the boards, on the edge of the boards, and around 2 centimeters on each side. I'll bring it into frame, sorry. Need to remind myself there are people watching me. Can lose myself in my work, in my thoughts. It's so nice to see you are chatting with one another, answering questions. Truly a community, amazing. It warms my heart to see that. If you have any more questions for me, write me in the comments and hopefully I can answer. I think I have the green one left. Yeah. Here I am. And I'm going to bring the green one. When binding, you need a lot of patience and there's a lot of repetition to things. But I think that's what I love about it. You can watch or you can work and think of ideas. I'm thinking about what's going to be my next video. Let me straighten this up. Again, a needle trick. See that it's the same on both sides. By the way, there is an option to glue the inner spine before the turn-ins and then folding them inside, but then you must have straight and the same size for the inside. And you can also see it, this is underneath, and you can see it from this side while you are watching the book or the folder that is open. That is why I prefer to glue it on it. And again, here there's going to be corners connected, of course, green corners, but 4 corners are going to be connected for the prints that are going to go on both sides. But it is important for me to say that there is another option of lining the inner spine and connecting it and then folding the turn-ins inside. I like this better. Thank you, Diego, for joining us. Waste paper. I chose a green with green. How appropriate. This is all leftover waste paper from different projects. I see the code here for a book I made. I bring it to the stoppers here, to the needles, thank you. And then go inside. So I have 5 folders ready in various colors. I want to talk to you about what's the next stage. What I'm going to do, I think I'll do it tomorrow because this is nighttime and I need to concentrate on connecting 2 papers for both sides. I'll show you like this. 2 papers, 1 for each side. The prints are going to be 23 on 33, so the paper is going to be just a bit less. And then I'm going to cut triangles. Let me bring the same color that you see here. And I'm going to connect 4 triangles on each side, 1/2 centimeter from the edge. I'll show you with a close-up here. So I'm going to connect the triangles 1/2 centimeter from each side, and that is going to hold the prints inside the folder. Now, the reason, and it's very important, now I'll put it inside the press, but when you glue something in bookbinding, when you glue one side, you need to counter the pull of the material and glue the other side. So if I won't glue anything, the binding will warp a bit and would pull to this direction. And when you glue paper inside, it would even the pull. Okay, So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I'll see if you have any more questions here. Thank you. Thank you all for such nice comments and for your support. Truly amazing. I'm looking at the chat. So actually, I think I'm going to stop here, to stop the live here. And thank you for joining me, and thank you for your support. It's truly amazing to see everyone here from all over the world. So I would see you in my next video. I hope to make a video until the end of the week. It depends on if I'll meet the deadline for this and I have some more boxes to make. So thank you for joining me, and if you are just joining, you can rewatch the live afterwards, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.